Ruth.
And I'm Darren.
Of the Rad Adventures Network.
Welcome to Convention Correspondents, where we talk about conventions we've attended and share our thoughts about the events.
Today we're discussing ReGeneration Who, which was recently held in Baltimore, Maryland, and featured guests Peter Capaldi, Colin Baker, Peter Davison, and many others.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider checking out our other podcasts that are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube.
Trekker Talk covers the adventures of 23rd century bounty hunter Mercy St. Clair from the sci-fi comic Trekker by writer and artist Ron Randall.
Xenozoic Xenophiles follows the adventures of Xenozoic Tales featuring Cadillacs and Dinosaurs by writer and artist Mark Schultz.
And Warlord Worlds is devoted to the comic creations of writer and artist Mike Grell, including The Warlord, John Sable, and Green Arrow.
And we want to mention the excellent podcast Straight Outta Gallifrey, available on the Right On Network, where our friend Ashford covers the classic series, the new series, and the Big Finish audios.
He's often joined by guests, including our friends Siskoid, Alan, and Tim, and on occasion you can even hear us on the show sharing our thoughts about Doctor Who.
And we'll be back with our thoughts about ReGeneration Who right after this promo from another podcast you might enjoy.
Ashford, what is Straight Out of Gallifrey?
Straight Outta Gallifrey is a podcast where Josh and I talk about Doctor Who episodes, classic and new, featuring other Time Lords as well as the Doctor.
There are other Time Lords?
Oh yes, it started all the way back with the first Doctor, William Hartnell.
Oh yeah, you told me about that, the Time Meddler.
That's correct, Kirsten.
Where can I find the episodes?
You can always go to straightoutagallifrey.libsyn.com.
I don't think I'll remember that.
Just add us on Twitter. We are So Gallifrey, like S-O Gallifrey.
Twitter feeds move too fast. I always miss stuff.
Well, subscribe to us on iTunes. That way, every time we upload a new episode, you will get the alert on your smarty device.
Cool, thanks. I can't wait to listen.
Okay, Kirsten, see you later.
Why are you walking into that blue box?
I'm going to have a couple of drinks with Mother Teresa of Calcutta. See ya.
You always say that. Whoa. It is real. So he does have drinks with Mother Teresa of Calcutta.
ReGeneration Who is a wonderful Doctor Who convention held in Baltimore, Maryland each spring.
We learned about the con from our friend Bill the week after the second convention, and we've been fortunate now to attend the third and fourth cons.
In the past, we've been lucky enough to attend both the fun Gallifrey 1 convention in LA as well as the wonderful Chicago TARDIS. However, both of those excellent Doctor Who conventions require flights for us, and that makes them more expensive, so we can't afford to attend either of them as often as we'd wish.
However, Baltimore is close enough for us to drive, and we're thrilled to have a terrific Doctor Who convention that we can attend regularly.
Before we get into an overview of the convention, we want to share our Doctor Who origin stories.
I grew up in a small rural town in a valley surrounded by mountains, and the one PBS channel we received didn't show Doctor Who. However, my friend Jeff, who attended the same school, lived up on one of the mountain ridges where he picked up a different PBS station that did carry Doctor Who, and he would tell me and our friend Chris about the show. I was finally able to see the series in 1983 when the local PBS station broadcast The Five Doctors to coincide with the show's 20th anniversary, and they followed up that special by showing the Tom Baker episodes for a few months. I was then able to see more of the show while attending college, where the local PBS station showed both the Tom Baker episodes and the Peter Davison episodes, which were new at the time. By the time the Paul McGann movie was shown in 1996, Ruth and I had been married for a few years, and we watched the movie together and quite liked it, and were disappointed it wasn't picked up for a series.
And that's where my fandom started. I grew up in the same small town as Darren, and I remember my dad, who has always been a science fiction fan, watching the show occasionally, but I never watched it myself until the Paul McGann movie. I was also disappointed that the movie didn't become a series, but we were happy when a few episodes turned up at a local video rental store. That store didn't get many episodes, but it gave me my first chance to see the classic series.
So we were both already fans, and we're definitely looking forward to the new series with Christopher Eccleston in 2005.
We attend DragonCon in Atlanta frequently, which has a programming track focused on British film and television, and they occasionally have guest and discussion panels about Doctor Who. So in the build-up to the launch of the new series, we attended all of those discussion panels at DragonCon.
That's where we learned about the UK company Big Finish that produces audio adventures with the cast from the classic era, and we also learned about the Gallifrey 1 and Chicago TARDIS conventions.
We watched the new series as soon as it was available in the U.S., and we've been loyal viewers all along.
Of course, with the success of the new series, it's now easy to find old and new Doctor Who on TV, as well as books, magazines, and memorabilia about the show.
As well as conventions, which conveniently leads us back to talking about ReGeneration Who.
The event is very well organized, and it's currently held at the Renaissance Hotel at the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, which is a beautiful area near the aquarium and within walking distance of many restaurants.
Each year, the convention features great guests from both the classic era as well as from New Who.
The main part of the convention occupies one floor of the convention center. On that floor, the autograph area is held on a curved balcony that overlooks the adjoining gallery shopping center, so it's a really nice location to wait in line for autographs.
From that balcony area, the floor branches off in multiple directions.
The vendor room is located in one area and features lots of licensed products, including t-shirts, books, and games, as well as many unique items like jewelry, stuffed animals, and art made by talented fans.
In another direction is the large panel room where the celebrity guests have question and answer sessions throughout the weekend.
And in another direction is a hallway with a few smaller rooms where fan-run discussion panels are held.
The guest list was very impressive when we attended last year and included Sylvester McCoy, who played the 7th Doctor, and more recently was Radagast the Brown in the Hobbit films. We've seen him a few times over the years, and he's hilarious and roams out in the audience and keeps fans laughing throughout his talks.
Other guests last year included stars from the classic era, such as 3rd Doctor companions Katie Manning, who played Jo Grant, and Richard Franklin, who played Captain Mike Yates.
Peter Purvis, who played 1st Doctor companion Stephen Taylor, was also there, as well as Terry Malloy, who played the evil Davros opposite the 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors on the classic series.
New series guests last year included a couple of our favorite New Who characters, which are Niamh McIntosh, who plays Madame Vastra the Silurian, and Catherine Stewart, who plays her human companion Jenny Flint. Their characters are awesome, and those actresses are equally awesome, and we really enjoyed hearing them talk about the show.
Another New Who guest last year was the sweet Ingrid Oliver, who plays fan favorite Osgood. She is charming and funny and is a big fan of the show herself and is thankful to be part of it. She told some wonderful stories about filming the series.
We would have never thought the convention could top a fantastic guest list like that, but somehow they managed to this year.
Classic era guests this year included the amazing William Russell, who played 1st Doctor companion Ian Chesterton when the series premiered in 1963. And besides Doctor Who, he also starred in the excellent series The Adventures of Sir Lancelot, which is a favorite of mine.
The 5th Doctor era was definitely a focus this year, featuring an amazing group including the 5th Doctor himself, Peter Davison, along with Janet Fielding, who played Tegan, Sarah Sutton, who was Nyssa, Matthew Waterhouse, who played Adric, and Mark Strickson, who was Turlough.
But one Doctor wasn't enough this year, and the convention also featured the 6th Doctor, Colin Baker, along with Nicola Bryant, who played companion Perry Brown with both the 5th and 6th Doctors. Colin and Nicola are always funny when they get together. Plus, the lovely Lisa Greenwood was also there. She plays 6th Doctor companion Flip Jackson in some of the excellent audio adventures from Big Finish.
Michael Jaston, who played the Valyard opposite the 6th Doctor, also attended. He's had a long and distinguished career, including being in the excellent series Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy, based on the novel by John le Carré, which is a favorite of mine.
And everyone's favorite robot dog K9 was there as well. The charming John Leeson told stories of working on the classic series, as well as on the new series with Elizabeth Sladen, and now working with Tom Baker again in the new adventures for Big Finish.
We love the classic era of the series and have been fortunate to see some of these guests in the past, while seeing others for the first time. It's an absolute delight to listen to their stories and watch them joke around with each other. It's very clear they've remained friends from the time they were on the show, thanks to convention appearances around the world, as well as getting together periodically to record brand new adventures for Big Finish.
And from New Who, the con brought in the delightful Michelle Gomez, who plays Missy, the latest incarnation of the evil master. She had great fun throughout the event, and even wore red cat ears for her photo ops. And yet, she still managed to look menacing.
And to prove that even 2 doctors weren't enough, we were treated to the 12th Doctor himself, Peter Capaldi. Even though his autograph lines were long, he took the time to chat with every person. And for his photo ops, he was ready to suggest an action pose, so you would look like you were on an adventure with the Doctor. Great fun.
And guests don't only include actors from the series, but many wonderful behind-the-scenes artists, such as director Rachel Talalay. It was amazing to meet her. She is smart and witty and delightful to talk to.
We also saw great writers and artists who work on the TV show, the novels, and the comics, including Robert Shearman, Nev Fountain, Simon Fraser, John Peel, and Andrew Cartmel.
Another fun guest we've seen both years at ReGeneration Who is effects artist Steve Costello. He worked on the construction of props for the classic series and played both Daleks and Cybermen during that time. He also worked on the Starbug model for the sci-fi comedy series Red Dwarf, which is a favorite of ours. He's a very nice gentleman and now lives in Virginia and likes to attend this convention, and we're glad that he does.
Big Finish always has a presence at these conventions, and you can usually count on seeing either Jason Hay-Gallery or Nicholas Briggs, or both, talking about the latest releases of their many great audio adventures. The company has been around nearly 20 years now. It started in 1999, making adventures featuring the cast of the classic Doctor Who series. Many fans, and we're among them, credit the company with keeping the series alive during the years it wasn't on TV. Their audio adventures are well written and feature great performances from the cast, along with excellent music and sound effects.
They've given Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker, and the actors who played their companions a chance to better develop their characters than during their time on television.
Plus, Big Finish gave 8th Doctor Paul McGann a chance to tell his Doctor's story beyond that single TV movie. There's an entire range of great stories featuring him with new companions like Charlotte Pollard, played by India Fisher, and Lucy Miller, played by Sheridan Smith.
And in recent years, Big Finish has been able to begin telling stories from the New Who era, with David Tennant even returning as the 10th Doctor.
And Big Finish has expanded beyond Doctor Who and now produces new audio adventures based on other classic shows, including The Avengers, Dark Shadows, Blake 7, Sapphire and Steel, and many others.
Besides the panels, other nice events for the guests during the weekend include Tea with the Doctors, where you enjoy some lovely drinks as the celebrity guests mingle from table to table, having chats with fans. And a similar event is Coffee with the Creators, where the writers and artists chat with fans while enjoying some light snacks.
As you can see, this convention consistently features an amazing lineup of guests, but that isn't all that's going on at the con.
There's also spectacular cosplay with fans dressed as the various Doctors, the many companions, and even some dedicated fans encased as Daleks, and wearing elaborate makeup and masks to look like creatures such as the Silurians.
There's also the Masquerade that features fans in costume doing skits and performing songs. And we always enjoy seeing Kat Smith, who mixes comedy along with pop songs that she plays on the ukulele.
And there are many discussion panels throughout the weekend about a variety of topics where fans can share ideas and make friends.
And speaking of friends, we've had the opportunity to spend time with many great friends at Doctor Who conventions over the years.
At Gallifrey 1 in Chicago TARDIS, we've made wonderful friends like Ed and Heather, Bill, Nadine, Thomas, Robert, Leland, Matthew, Daniel, and Charlie and Eric. And at ReGeneration Who this year, we were joined by several wonderful friends we've met over the years through podcasting.
Our friends Kamutha and Mike were there. Mike is one of the hosts of Comics in the Golden Age and the Kirby Cast. We've had the good fortune to meet up with them at other conventions in the past, and it's always great to see them.
We met new friend Felicity this year thanks to an online introduction from our friend Shag of the Fire and Water Podcast Network. Felicity is one of the hosts of the Flopcast, and we learned she's a longtime attendee of Gallifrey, and she even had a photo taken with Colin Baker at the Visions convention in 1996 that she brought along to get him to sign at this con. Felicity was in excellent cosplay one day as the Ronnie, and she got many great compliments, including one from writer Robert Shearman. That's awesome.
And we met Tony and Louisa, thanks to an introduction from Felicity, and they joined us for a nice dinner one evening.
Plus, we met Lloyd Jason, thanks to an online introduction from our friend Thomas.
And one of these days, we'll make it back to Gallifrey 1 so we can hang out with our friends Shag and David. They started attending the con right after we stopped going to it. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe that was actually their diabolical plan all along, just trying to avoid us.
And we had the opportunity to hang out lots during the weekend with our friend Tim, who we've met at other conventions in the past, and we had the opportunity to meet his lovely wife Dana for the first time.
Tim is one of the hosts of the podcast Beatlemania, which focuses on the comic character Blue Beetle, and Tim also runs a Blue Beetle blog at Cord Industries, as well as the Phantom's Skull Cave blog.
And Tim's also a fan of the Monkees, which earns him bonus points.
Tim had 2 discussion panels on the schedule at ReGeneration Who, and we were honored to be asked to join him for both panels. On Saturday morning was the panel Your First Time Lord, where we discussed our introductions to Doctor Who, along with Nathan of Pixel Who and Jordan of 3 Questions, 2 Guys, 1 Podcast. And on Saturday evening was the panel If You Were the Showrunner, where we all shared ideas for new things we would add to the show or classic elements we would bring back to the show if we were in charge.
And it was nice that Tony, who we just met earlier that evening at dinner, was in the audience and shared some great comments.
Both of Tim's topics were excellent ideas for panels, and there was a large turnout for both discussions and great participation from all those who attended. It was tremendous fun, and we sincerely thank everyone who was there, and we definitely want to thank Tim for including us.
And as we left the convention, Tim gave us a lovely gift of Doctor Who-themed teas by Nerdfelt, based on the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors. Delicious. Thank you very much, Tim.
I hope everyone enjoyed hearing our thoughts about ReGeneration Who. If you're in the area, we highly recommend this convention for Doctor Who fans.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll be right back with our wrap-up and contact information.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hold your breath, make a wish, count to 3. Come with me, and you'll see a world that's filled with Beatlemania. Hey everybody, this is Tim, one of the co-hosts of Beatlemania, the Blue Beetle podcast. Along with my co-host Jay, we're going to be bringing you everything Blue Beetle, from the Golden Age adventures of Dan Garrett to the Silver Age adventures of a different Dan Garrett, to the more recent adventures of Ted Cord and Jaime Reyes. Trust us, we're keeping it blue on the SNG Podcast Network.
Before we go, we want to provide our contact information.
You can write us directly at radadventuresnetwork@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram under the name Rad Adventures Network.
That's RAD, R-A-D, which is short for Ruth and Darren.
You can listen to the show through iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play.
You can even find the show on YouTube under Rad Adventures Network.
And you can always visit radadventuresnetwork.com, where you'll find all of the episodes of all of our podcasts, including Trekker Talk, Warlord Worlds, and Xenozoic Xenophiles, as well as Sensational Sleuths, where we talk about our favorite mysteries, and Fantastic Fantasies, where we discuss favorite fantasy adventures.
If you like the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. While you won't find a specific place to review Convention Correspondents, we hope you'll leave a review under Rad Adventures Network. Every review helps the podcast be more likely to show up in search results.
And on YouTube, we hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give us some likes on the videos.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll come back next time for another new episode of Convention Correspondents.
Rad Adventures Network is a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network. For more information, please visit comicspodcast.com. The theme music is Typewriter Symphonic and is licensed from pod5.com. We make no money from this podcast and no copyright infringement is intended.